And 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of DTE. I think Jermaine wanted to say something with.
Why you gotta say my government name? Why?
Take
do
two?
You,
Take two?
No. Why do you, Still Dre, and everybody else say my name? Just say JV2. It's not that hard. 3.
Listen, we listen to Destiny's Child way too much, so
Cool.
we have to follow suit.
I guess you're just an island boy, Just,
Yeah.
Trying to...
Just trying to make it.
Yes, it is DTE. We are back once again, and your boy and your host, your favorite, your lover boy, your dark skin and rich chocolate right here, Mr. JB2 in the building. And I don't know why you're dissing me, but it's okay.
Too much,
I got
bro.
my boy D-Mac, Mr. Daryl Embrack is in the building. You know what I'm saying?
Saying my government name too.
I mean,
okay.
that's how you wanted to be introduced. I'm pretty sure that's how. I'm pretty sure it's what you said. You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to be cool too. It's okay.
I feel you. You're too cool to be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
You're too
All
cool
right.
to be cool. Too cool. You know what I'm saying?
No, but go on.
Anyways, but I actually had an interesting week. To start off, I literally saw a bunch of kids dancing for the first time in a long time. Like it just brought back memories of me dancing as a kid. So it was actually dope to see.
Like outside on the block?
Outside, and it was cold as fuck. I don't know why they were outside just doing it, but it was nice to see. So shout out to those kids. They actually made my week for sure.
So how's your mental health? Mental health check.
On a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, for the week.
For this week, I would say it bounced back from last week for sure. Last week was definitely like at a 3.5. I'm at a 6.5 right now.
Okay, what brought it up?
Just kind of finding things for myself, like literally, like just I played ball. I kind of did some more meditation, read more books, got to go out, and do things for myself, and just kind of talking to people that make life worthwhile. So had some intriguing conversations. I've heard some blessings. My boy, shout out to Ajmer. I told him I was going to shout him out. He just got engaged, so shout out to him.
Congratulations,
man. Shout out to Aji, him and Nisha. That's a beautiful thing.
They're a beautiful couple.
And
they got a beautiful life ahead of them.
Yeah, for sure. And then just different things have come about. I'm not gonna give everybody the whole spiel, but some things that have picked it up. So I'm at a 6.5. I'm still not at a even kill, which is 7. 7 should make it good, but I'm at a 6.5.
All right. By the end of the podcast, we're gonna bring it up to 7.
Hopefully, man. But seeing Manny, man, I honestly, man, I feel like I'm at an 8 right now. You know what I'm saying? But what about you, man? What are you at from 1 to 10?
I'm at a solid 7 right now. I'm very content. Glad to be back for episode 2.
Yes, sir.
Thankful to see really good people in our lives, such as Manny.
He's back recording us. You know what I'm saying? With his long hair, looking like Lex Luger. Feel me?
He's got a new look,
listen,
new him.
if I could show y'all right now how this guy's looking right now, y'all be like, yo, this is crazy. But it's a good look on him,
Yeah, he just needs a long trench coat. He could be like the next vampire.
See, he could be the Undertaker. Yeah, but what's got you at a 7? What's made you so content right now?
Literally just getting back to it. Same as last week. Very content with coming back to doing audio, getting the quality a little bit better than last season,
right.
And just working on the music.
Yes, his album's coming out. I don't remember what the album name was because it was so fucking. What was the album name called again?
Opsamath.
Opsa what?
Opsamath.
Opsamath. You know what I'm saying? It's coming soon, ladies and gentlemen. DTE's finest, D-Mac in the building. He's gonna drop that album, but that's big, man. So I'm trying to get content. I think just to elaborate on, mental health. I find that. Even if you get ahead of it, it's still a thing that you should still continue to consciously try to improve, be better at and try to just instill certain things, because I feel like once people have a knack, I feel like the people have a knack of doing is they feel once they're above it, they stop doing the things that got them to the point of, you know.
And you know what helps with that?
What helps there?
Accountability.
Accountability, that's right. Sometimes you gotta hold yourself accountable.
Yeah, you gotta know exactly what you want, go for it, and be very true with yourself and what you're doing. Not like a lot of people in our lives, though.
What do you mean?
Well, for me, I know my sister, not to put her out there, but my sister.
Damn, he goes. Shoot, yo, I'm not. Can I say her name?
Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna say her name. Mrs. Embrack.
You know, people like my sister, or even people like myself. I'll put myself on the hot seat.
On the hot seat.
Yeah. Just, it's about being honest with yourself. It's about looking yourself in the eye in the mirror. If you can't look at yourself in the eye in the mirror, you're not really doing yourself any favors, or your community, or your family. It's hard to do such things because you never want to be the bad guy. You never want to be the person who has to say sorry, or the person who has to take things into their own hands and actually do the work to fix whatever you smashed or you broke. But it is hard to do so. You got people like the roommates, Kevin Samuels. You got so many other big podcast people talking about accountability in male and female dynamics, and they're doing big work because who else is talking about it?
Right. That's facts. Like, there are not a lot of people who are. It's not even just that the fact that they're talking about. They're really diving in. They're going deep, and they're not afraid to have those type of conversations. And the roommate podcast, when they were on Fresh and Fit, when they had that encounter with that woman, right?
Yeah.
He was trying to make her take accountability of how she was going about her actions, and just seeing how she got rattled real quick. And he's like, yo, like, he was getting more passionate because of the fact that she was proving his point, you know?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying that a lot of women don't take accountability, but what I've learned in time is that most of them just don't want to admit that they're have accountability issues.
Yeah.
Or because again, if you ask most women of why they're friends more with men, right? Are they gonna take accountability for that? You feel me? Because a lot of women.
Doubtful.
Exactly. So a lot of women don't like to converse with women because again, it's y'all are thinking the same. There's a lot of things that are tied the same. So
you know each other's tricks.
Exactly. So there's always a he say she say type of thing, and again it gets messy. Again, I'm not speaking on every woman. I'm speaking from what I know from certain women I've had conversations with. This is not.
I would say majority.
Right.
Personally,
I just want to clarify because we live in a sensitive world now. You feel me? Everyone feels like any opinion that anybody has is, deemed as lashing out or speaking out of pocket. I'm just speaking on what I know, and I just feel like there's a lot of women that can at least own it in the moment and just let if you're friends with a female, let them know, like, okay, I feel like you're doing this. Same way you can let a man know. There's no different you letting a female know without it being messy. You know what I mean?
Well, it's how you take it, right? And you have to be accountable within yourself in order to take it as an adult.
Right.
And how many times are you gonna see that in life? Not very many these days. When I talk to people who are maybe 30 plus, 40 plus, yeah, it's there. I can have a decent conversation with them. I can sit down and I can say, hey, look, I didn't really like the way that you handled your child or you handled my child. Mm-hmm. I don't have one, but just for saying sake.
Hypothetically.
Yeah. But I could say things that are pretty touchy and still get a positive result because they understand where I'm coming from. They're not thinking that I'm attacking them all the time. It's more of a constructive criticism.
Okay, to like even dive into that, what makes you feel like? What makes you think? when a situation goes negative, right? Why is that? Like, in your honest opinion, from what because you already know your intent of why you're saying certain things, why you're approaching it. So if you know your intent and you're saying it in a calm demeanor, how does one take it differently? In your opinion.
Well, from what I see, it's just the battle of emotion won over their logic. Because when you listen to things, a lot of people listen to reply and not listen to process.
Yes.
And once they do that, it's like a slippery slope, because you can either like what they said or not. And you could like what they said and not even process what they said.
At the same time,
and it could be something totally bad for you.
Yeah.
Right? It happens all the time. But again, you have to have that process in your mind where you can actually digest and pick apart everything in the sentence that somebody said, so that you can understand how it applies to you, and then respond.
Or even see where they're trying to come from. Or even if you don't understand it, okay, I heard what you said, like, can you elaborate? Ask questions, you know? But I feel like you said, like, a lot of people with the emotion, they already have their response ready. They're just, like, waiting for you to finish what the fuck you're saying. So they're just like...
It's fast. It's
like, just finish what you're saying, I'm going to get you. I'm going to catch you.
Because the emotion's already there. They just want to let out the emotion.
Yeah.
They don't want to fix the problem, which is weird to me.
I mean, it's weird to me, too. I think it's weird to a lot of people, you know. But I wanted to get that opinion on somebody else because... I mean, it don't make no sense to me why, you know, you can't just ask questions, you know? It's a simple thing. If you don't, like, just listen to what I'm saying. If you don't like what I'm saying, then we can talk about it.
You know what it is? With emotions, you don't want to ask questions because you think that they're going to annoy you more or trigger you more.
But you're
with
already
your
triggered.
response.
You're already triggered. So
That's the thing. If you're already triggered, you don't want to be triggered again.
You're already triggered. Who cares? You get what I'm saying? You're already triggered, and no one really triggered you. You're triggering yourself. You're launching it yourself. I don't understand where I triggered you with me and my intent, because my intent is calm. My calm demeanor is telling you what I feel, my opinion.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, well, you know, X, Y, and Z, like in a negative way. You know what I'm saying?
But it will.
I know it will. That's the inevitable part. But it's just I'm just trying to grasp, like, you know what I mean? Like it's all silliness.
Don't you know JP too? What I say goes, okay?
Nah, but I can't. No. That's where you gotta take accountability. Like, did I really listen to that person's conversation? Like, did I really listen to that person thoroughly and really try to, you know, decipher what that person was trying to say to me? You know?
Yeah. Another thing that stifles accountability is the flipping factor, where they flip things on you, even though you probably didn't do anything.
And what form is that? Is that a form of manipulation?
I think so.
Right?
I think so, because at the end of the day, if you're going, okay, for example, if you're going to, let's say, a party, and then...
Party!
You're going with your girl, she's looking all nice, you're looking all dapper, and then she says... Dapper. You know? Well, that's me, right?
You bring your handkerchief too?
Yeah, I'm bringing my handkerchief and my tie and everything.
You're fucking...
My cufflinks. My suspenders.
I couldn't even finish his sentence, yo. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to do something with your girl, and then she flips the script so that you can stay home.
Yeah, manipulation.
I think that's taking advantage of the situation, because you really just want to have a good time, but then she wants to be hung up on something just for argument's sake. At least in my experience, that has happened before.
Right.
And I never understood it.
I don't think it's meant for us to understand. I think it's meant for us to... It's either tolerable or it's not. That's what it boils down.
That sucks.
It does suck.
What kind of existence is that?
It is, I like, a lot of things do deal with tolerance. Like, can you tolerate, you know, because again, we all are different, right? You can meet your match and you know you desire that person, and then the next stages have to come, right? So, you know, you pass the honeymoon stage, You go live with the person. That's another stage.
Okay, but we're talking about accountability here. So at what point do you grow up for that accountability to take place so that you don't have to tolerate the little things?
Transparency in every facet has to evolve from day one to whenever, right? So if you're in communication with your person and your partner, and you're taking accountability, you can't control what your woman does. You get what I'm saying? You literally can't. It's impossible. So as long as you can control what you can control, you can leave that situation or stay in that situation with your head up high. You know, you can't take what that person is doing, because at the end of the day, you want them to take. Your expectation is for them to take accountability. But
damn right.
Will it happen? It's out of your control. You can be transparent all you want, again, and that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
But it's out of your control.
Okay, so if you had a time frame, like let's say you're with your girl for, like you just got together with a girl, right?
So we in a honeymoon stage.
So right now, like you're just together, like you just asked her and she said yes, eyes, I want to be your girl. So now, man. How long will it take for you as a man to be like, you know what, this has gone too long?
What's gone too long?
Like the tolerance factor. Like she's been doing things that
you know right from the. I think it takes 3 months to know what you're gonna tolerate.
Okay.
You know
okay, like that's your time frame. 3 months.
3 months, you know what you're gonna tolerate. 6 months, you know if you're gonna marry her at some point.
Oh, okay.
Right. Like as a man, you should know that. And that's just for me. Everyone's gonna feel differently, right? Some people really like to take time. Like, you know, I'm not gonna put his name out there, but I've had conversation with a certain person who likes to take his time.
Yeah.
You know, some people, you know, like to rush. You know,
too many people.
I know a lot of people right now who like to rush. I'm not gonna call his name out too, but point is, like, you know, everyone has their niche and everyone's gonna go about it very differently. But I feel as a man, if you desire your woman, you should know by either the day one, like you should know like what your intent is, and 6 months should conclude your decision. You know what I mean?
I follow the same path. Like 6 months for me is definitely the time when I know, okay, now I'm gonna I'm gonna keep on putting towards that ring.
Right, exactly. Right? That pursuit.
Yeah, but if not, if 6 months pass and, you know, she's just not doing it for me, I'm not gonna put it more in my savings for that ring for her.
Okay, so let's just say I'm gonna take it up enough. We're gonna stay on topic with this, but let's just say you now are at 6 months. You know that this person is not for you, but you choose to stay. Are you taking accountability for when it gets messy?
I would have to, because I'm the one choosing against my own desire.
Right.
Which makes me the messy one.
Yes, makes you the top. Which again, I'm glad that you said that, because like I can now fully say like I've been messy. Like, you know, like I can admit to myself.
Bro, we've all been messy. Like it's just a trial and error in life.
Right, but some people go around and make it seem like they haven't been like, again, like I like just taking that situation. Like I've chosen to push past my desire a lot of times, and tell myself that it was never me. But again, going back to what you're saying about looking in the mirror, I can't look myself in the mirror because I haven't admitted to myself, you know, and taking that accountability.
It takes time.
But I'm glad you said that, but I wanted to know if you would actually take the accountability and tell your partner that you're the messy one.
I have before, not for every partner, but I have before. In my later years. In my earlier years,
no. I don't think we ever did it.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's a trial and error, right?
Who was with that when you were younger? At 16, like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I've had partners where I've cheated, right?
Yes.
Keep in mind, like, I did it as a retaliation, but I still cheated nonetheless. So I didn't need to do that.
It was a choice.
Yeah, I didn't need to do that at all, but I did it anyways out of like hurt.
Emotion.
And the emotion won over my logic.
taking him over.
This is why I need him on the album.
Oh, I can't sing, man.
Everybody.
Don't do that, man. Manny doesn't even know I don't do music, man. I'm just a host.
Yeah, so the accountability on my end, my last relationship, like I said, I was not faithful.
Dog, fucking dirty dog.
Well, I mean, it was directed because she thought I was stupid, right?
Oh, so she tried to finesse you.
Essentially. So I'm with the girl, first of all. How do I even say this? Okay, let's just go with this. One night, she was laying on me, and you know how, like, you text and you do whatever while you're watching movies and stuff.
Right. Handling your business.
Yeah, she had the audacity to be texting some girl and flirting with her while she's on top of me.
Oh, this ex. I'm gonna lean back for this one.
Yeah. So, what did I do? Okay. You promised that you wouldn't see nobody else, and you definitely promised that you wouldn't talk to another girl on top of that. That was my requirement from the get-go.
Requirements are big. You talked about that the last time.
It was my requirement. And I told her, like, yo, like you are who you are, you say who you are. Okay, cool. I believe that you cannot be faithful to me because you are attracted to two genders, male and female. And she responds, it's not fair because you never gave me a chance to find out. And I couldn't say anything.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
She means, like, she says that my feelings are invalid because I didn't give her a chance to show her that, for her to show me that she has that loyalty factor. Did I say that right?
Yeah. Do you agree though with her?
At the time, I felt like.
Cause I agree.
I felt like it was bullshit, right. But at the same time, I couldn't
fathom. I
couldn't like disprove what she said because what she said did have a fact to it. I did not test her. Right?
Yeah, you didn't.
So, against my gut feeling, I said, you know what? Let me just think about this logically. And I tried to think of it logically. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to give you a chance. Even though I really think that you cannot really give your all to me. Right?
You're kind of doubting her, though, from the jump.
I started doubting her. But I was very, like...
Transparent about it.
Because I said, you know what? We'll continue, and if you can show me over a period of time.
But do you think a woman's gonna really try to, like? Because now it's like I have to prove this to you, or else it's not. It's no longer free flowing. It's no longer, you know.
Well, the way it transpired, at first it was like that, but then slowly it just started to feel natural. I will.
Quick question. I don't mean to throw.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Remember your statement. Was this in the honeymoon stage?
It was just past.
Okay.
It was just past it.
I had to know all these.
No, that's a fair question, because we were friends for a while. Right.
Which accounts for something.
Yeah, get to know each other, test the waters and whatnot. Oh, okay. So you like this, that. I like this, that. Okay.
Trying to find some compatibility.
Yeah, we found a lot of compatibility. The only thing was that I felt like infidelity was an inevitable thing. To come.
Was that a prediction you had for the outcome?
Yeah, it was like a gut feeling that I quieted.
Did you have this? I'm sorry, people. I'm just getting juicy. I feel like I'm in an interview right now. I'm joking. But do you feel like you basically, was this before the relationship started? Like you had that gut feeling before the relationship, or anything was established?
It was a time when I figured out that she was attracted to more than just men. So that's when I knew in my head, like it just clicked in my head, like, okay, it's not gonna work.
But was it at the beginning of the relationship?
of the relationship, or just me knowing her?
Or just talking in general. Before you guys established anything, right? Did you have this gut feeling?
No, because I didn't know.
So when you found out, was this after you guys made the establishment? Like you guys were in a relationship?
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it was after getting to know her on a deeper level that I then discovered that she was, because she was hiding it from me, right? And she admitted to hiding it from me because she didn't think that it was
a big deal.
She said in her own words that it wasn't something that she thought was necessary to say. Right?
How do you feel about that? Like, do you feel like someone should tell you right away?
I mean,
you should, yeah.
I think it's fair. Like, if you're a certain type of person, you like a certain type of things, I think it's fair to tell someone who may or not be into the same things that you're like, hey, by the way, this is me.
That's true. That is very true. It kind of goes into like a transgender, if she's a transgender.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like...
So she was selfish in a way.
To me, yes. To me, it was like, okay, I was transparent with you on pretty important stuff, because what you're attracted to is kind of deep into who you are, right? If you're hiding the fact that you're, let's say I'm a midget guy or whatever. I like midgets, right? But I'm dealing with a regular sized person.
Be looking fire. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, like, that's something that your person is gonna have to be aware of, because they're gonna have to like deal with that. If they're not a midget, they're not fitting into the category of a desired person for you, right?
Yeah, I feel what you're saying.
So if you desire everybody, like my logic was, if you desire everybody, then you can't have anybody. You can just take pieces of them.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't be able to fully commit to anybody. That's my logic to her. And she said that's fair, because she said it's both fair and unfair because she's seen it in real life, but also she feels like she's different. And I said, what makes you different? She couldn't answer. She just said, you have to see. You have to try me. And I said,
well, I mean,
all right.
It is kind of fair for her to say that, though.
It's fair.
Because at the end of the day...
That's why I stayed. Right?
Right. Because you had that desire for her.
I wanted to see. I wanted to see.
That's not what you had the desire for her.
Yeah, I had a desire for her. No. Don't get me wrong. I had a desire for her.
I was about to say.
There was desire on both ends.
All right.
But...
Because, this is live,
Well, yeah, we just sat down in the car and we just had that talk. And I think also me saying and putting down my foot, like, yo, like this, I'm not rocking with this, made her want me more, because I don't know, it's like a scarcity thing. Like, once you have somebody that you like and then they're like, you know what, you're doing something that I don't like, you're like trying to scramble. So that's the type of energy that I got from her at the time, right? And there's been times where I scrambled for her too, right? I'm not gonna say, oh, like I'm this pimp or anything, but like, it's just that energy that has you making decisions that you might not make if you're thinking clearly.
That's true.
Right.
Okay, so for me to elaborate on what you were saying, I commend you for at least standing your ground, because I think every woman... I
didn't stand my
ground. You did in terms of what you were uncomfortable with.
I just was transparent, but I didn't stand my ground. If I stood my ground, then I would have...
Well, in that aspect,
no?
Yes. But I'm saying, like, what I mean by standing ground, like, you were very transparent in what made you feel a type of way. You're going with your gut. Like, that's standing your ground, because if you couldn't shake off that feeling, so you had to
make it known.
Yeah. Right? So, with that being said, I wanted to ask, when did it, like, become...
Here it comes.
You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I just feel something about this. I'm like,
when did you feel like there was no point of return?
There it is. Well, the moment that I saw her betray what she said. Like,
oh, okay.
She was texting on top of me, thinking that like I wouldn't see, even though like the phone is right there.
Right.
There was a long moment in time where I like her parents loved me, right? Her parents absolutely, I loved them back. I still have love for them. And they were noticing that she was drifting away, right? And unbeknownst to me, she would have girls come over to the house, to her house, right? Obviously not in a friendship kind of way, but
It's one of those.
the parents didn't say anything to me, but about that, but they did say that I should watch out.
So they gave you like so they kind of had your back in a sense, right? Which is
so it's like interesting, and it was her father, which is more interesting because to me it's like the father is always like protective of the girl, right? And don't really want the boy around, right? But he, like the day before, he invited me to a grill, a cookout with the grill at the back of his house, his backyard in the back of his house, and he was showing me like how he grills stuff, like how he does his
how he operates.
Yeah, how he operates. Trying to gauge me, and he's like, "Yo, like I view you as like a son. Like you're like the best thing that's happened to my daughter." And I was just like, "That's like an honor." Yeah, that's like an honor to me. I was like, "Thank you." Like I spend more time with you than I do with my own father. So it's like, not no disrespect to my own father, but it was just a fact of life. Like that's how much time.
That was what was going on.
Yeah, yeah. So he's telling me all this stuff, and he's like, "Yo, like, I really like you. I want you to be around. I want you to guide my daughter, and I want you to instill your Christian values in her because I think she's lost." And I'm like, fuck, like that's a lot to ask. But at the same time, I do want to do this. I did.
The desire was there.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
So the next day, temptation fell on me, and I lost the battle because she when she showed me that she wasn't worthy of my faithfulness, that's when I was like, oh, I see you.
So it was more retaliation.
Yeah. So keep in mind, for all the guys out there, this is not what you do. You don't retaliate just because you feel a certain way, just because a person did something to you. You confront them and you talk to them and you try to fix the problem if it's reconcilable. Don't do what I did and just retaliate out of just emotion
and try to get some.
Right? Well.
No, but the thing, just to tap on, I don't feel like it should start there. I think they gotta, before they have the conversation, this is for all men out there, is to talk to themselves, you know? I feel like once you really talk to yourself and know, like, okay, like, I messed up, I can own that, and I'm not gonna have this conversation, because I've already taken the accountability for my action.
Okay. I
can now come to this conversation knowing I have a sense off my back, because if you come there with like things on your shoulder,
all these emotions and stuff,
it's gonna be a battle. Okay. I think I've learned that just for myself. Like I feel like even just my recent situation, a lot of the times I just felt like, oh, why did I really do that? I didn't have a conversation with myself. When I had a conversation with myself, I had a better outcome for myself. I can't control what she does, right? Nope. But if you can leave, even if she gets rattled, you know, it's like, okay, well,
you have more control of the situation because
you want to be in control.
You controlled here,
right?
Yeah.
It's not about taking matter, like dominating the entire conversation, but you want to be in control of you, because you don't want another person's energy to shift your character. And a lot of times, when you really desire someone, if you care about them, if you love them, that does happen a lot of the times, you know.
Yeah, and so, I shifted in mine.
Right, and I shifted in mine too, right? You sort of act out of pocket. You're just like, yo, who is this guy? Like, you know, who is this person? So,
and because of pride, a lot of times people just don't revert back to being a better person. They just sit in the sourness. And they're like, you know what?
They let it.
Bitches ain't shit. Niggas ain't shit.
Yeah,
you know, and then
yeah.
they keep that mentality, and we get nowhere
Yeah,
as a community.
Nothing gets resolved. Because now you're putting a stigma out there, like, oh well, he's just a bitter person.
Yeah,
just,
and then you think every single other female is
the
like
same,
that, or male,
and the same
it's
with
like,
them, vice versa.
Yeah.
So again, I'm gonna tell you, ladies, we're not all the same. You know, like I'm not. I know it sounds cliche. We're not all the same. Yes, we logically think about things, but we're all gonna go about things very differently. But my advice to men is just like have that conversation with yourself before you have that conversation, because it is better to, you know, be calm in your attack. So even if they have a counterattack, you're okay. I would rather be. This is a quote I heard. I would rather be the storm than weather the storm.
Be the storm than weather the storm.
Right. I would rather be the storm than weather the storm, because if you're waiting for the storm to settle, anything can happen. When you be in the storm, like you're in control, like you're the storm. So you're gonna go.
That's interesting.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just spitting gems out here.
That's gems.
You feel me?
That's
Brush
interesting.
off the shoulders.
Yeah, it's definitely
Miami Heat all day. Anyways, all right, we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna talk about what I wanted to talk about was like what when it comes to supporting, you know, a friend, family member, you know, a brother. At what point do you feel like you're supporting someone with honest intentions? Like, can I support you if this is your shirt? You know, follow DT. You know what I'm saying? DT podcast. You know. But if you were selling this shirt, right? This is your business, and I don't like it, and I'm honest with you about it, but I'm gonna still promote it. But if I can be honest with you, and we have a grown conversation, then I can literally help you go above and beyond with supporting. That's how I feel. But if I can't give you my honest opinion, and then you take offense to it, and you know it kind of, you know, affects the friendship or, you know, the brother or
That's
whatever.
The worst.
What, like, at one point does it, like, how do you support that? You know, I don't even know if I made sense just now, but bear with me, people.
All I know is that when it comes to support, for me, if it's not aligning with my core values, I can't support it. Even like I can still be your friend, but I have to be transparent as to why I'm not supporting your particular brand or whatever you're selling or whatever you're trying to give to the community.
Right.
Because it doesn't align with me, right? It's like no one takes offense if I don't support my friend's tampon brand, right? Because dude, it has nothing to do with me, right? Like,
but the person doing it, the person's brand, they might take offense. Like, yo, you're my best friend.
I mean, like in a realistic setting, like I have many friends who are females that like have like candles. They do candles or they do t-shirts and stuff like that. They don't really mind that I don't support them because it's just not. It doesn't in my realm.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
Resonate with you.
But for general things like music, for general things like website design or whatever, I'll support because those will align with what I'm more into or core value. If I have like a friend who's a rapper who's talking about death all the time, they'll know from me that I'm not supporting that, right? Because it's death, right?
Death, like not death.
Nah,
death.
Like death as death. Like,
okay,
done.
Gotcha.
Like,
okay, so let's take it to another level. If Manny here, you guys been best friends for like.
I don't support this guy.
We support him.
We love you, Manny.
But you say that your friendship's like 15 years deep. You know, you see him coming up. He sees you coming up. He has something that he's trying to do. Regardless if your core value aligns with his, are you still gonna support?
So what's the problem? Like,
because you're saying if it doesn't align with your core value, you ain't gonna support.
So it would depend on what.
So let's just say he's doing something that like is completely like you're but he's your best friend. Let's just say you don't like rappers.
Okay.
Right? Let's just make it a prime example. He doesn't like rappers. Manny's trying to be a rapper. You supporting him or not?
For me, okay, if you're just a rapper, that's not enough. Like, it's not a core value to me. Like, it has to be about the topic, right? So if he's trying to be so like, that's just like a preference versus a core value for me, because
right, okay, it was a terrible example, I know, but okay, but you get what I'm trying to ask you.
So like, if he was like, if Manny was a hitman, for example, and he's saying, "Yo, I need money to do this to go kill somebody," nah, bro.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's support. Like that's common sense. Cause like, I'm not gonna support my brother if he says he's gonna go rob a bank.
Yeah.
I understand his means, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna support it.
Yeah, there's levels to the
I love
support.
You, bro, but I'm not gonna support you.
Manny's over there. He's like, yo, you better support. Like.
You know what I'm saying? But like, again, I don't want to dive too deep into the situation, but there, you come across where your peoples may feel, regardless of if you like it or not, that you should always support them, no matter what. Like, you have to. You gotta sell my shit. Thing. You have to be the prime example. You have to be the brand for my brand. You know?
Yeah.
So, at what point do you? Like, I feel like, okay, that's cool, but if I can't be honest with you about your brand, why am I gonna be promoting myself if my face is gonna be on it?
Yeah. Sometimes, like, even the product sucks, right?
Yes, yeah.
And like you put it in a position where you have to tell that person they suck, like flat out suck, but you don't want to.
That's harsh.
You don't want to because you want to see people thrive, right? Especially the ones close to you.
So why would you tell them they suck? They go thrive throughout the door.
How much?
Thrive to the trash can and throw that shit out.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to see them thrive, or it's like a balance, because like what if one day they become good at it, whatever they're doing?
Practice makes perfect.
Right? Practice, yeah. So
and that's not generic speaking. That's like actual facts. Like,
Yeah, practice makes permanent too. So they could be
right.
They could be absolute shit for the rest of their lives, right? Doing the same thing, and never getting anywhere.
Right.
But at the same time, what if they grow? So it's like, you want to tell them the truth and you don't want to stifle them. You want them to stop, but there's still potential. So I guess you have to use your discretion.
Yeah, I guess there's no easy way to go about it. You gotta find some type of balance,
But I think still the best way to go about it is to be honest, because
I agree. I agree. I feel like I should be able to be like, yo, like, Manny, your portfolio is incredible. However, you could be doing this, da 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 da. Or Daryl, your music is whatever. But I mean, if you tapped into this, you would rather constructive criticism from the people that you want to be supporting you.
Yeah. But what sucks is sometimes you don't have any constructive criticism because you don't know anything about that realm. You just know that they suck.
Right. Because you're on the you're on the outside view, but you have to. Yeah. Again, they're catering to an outside view.
Yeah.
So no one really, unless
they're supposed to.
Right, but if you don't have that expertise, even on the outside view, like, you're not gonna know. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's about self-awareness too, right? Like, you have to compare yourself, always A and B your tracks for the music heads, right? Or always, like, if you're an artist, like you're a painter, study painting, study your craft, right? Like, and compare yourself to the greats.
But that's different though. Like, if I don't know shit about art and my best friend's promoting art.
No, I mean for the actual person who's doing it. For the person who's critiquing, just be a critiquer, right? Don't step out your lane to like learn something to teach somebody else something.
But sometimes that
you could.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you can spark somebody, and they can just outdo you with what they research, right?
Yeah.
You have it with a lot of scientists, like, a scientist could be like, yeah, well, this is how you cut a fucking frog, but
you can be the asshole that's better. at your friend at doing whatever, and they'll be in your shadow, and you'll be number one.
This guy, he went into a different realm. But
But,
anyways, I definitely appreciate you guys again tuning into DTE again. I do want to shout out all the clubs out in Toronto right now because they buzzing. I know they've been waiting, all the strip clubs and shit, yeah, hopefully you guys continue to do what you're doing. I'm not a fan of going to the clubs anymore. I'm old. It is over with. You might catch me once a year, but that's all about it, But shout out to them. But I do want to say to all the artists out there, doesn't matter if you're a musician, if you're a photographer, if you pod in like us, if you're on radio, like, keep creating. It don't matter where you are, even if you get stuck, even if you have writer's block, even if you gotta take time away from things, keep creating, and
create a schedule for yourself. Actually apply yourself. You'll feel good about it.
Right. And again, find time for joy. Again, I'm gonna keep preaching it every episode. You need joy in your life. It is easy for us to make excuses. We might as well just find time to make joyful moments, and I think that's living. If you're not making time for joy, you're literally just existing at this point.
And that's not acceptable for anyone.
I don't think you should accept that. I don't think y'all should accept that. That shit don't slide. You know what I'm saying? Especially coming from us. We gotta live. We only have one life to live. So everyone has an expiry date. You don't know when that is, but just live.
Yeah.
You ain't got nothing else to say, Daryl?
And that's a wrap.
Okay, that's it. All right, peace out.
All right.